Prince Christian give up throne for Princess Leonor, confirmed. Imagine a quiet palace corridor in Copenhagen. The new king, Frederick X, has just taken the throne, and the future king, Crown Prince Christian, is expected to follow in his footsteps. That's the familiar story. But today, the narrative flips completely. Because reports are now swirling, Prince Christian is willing to give up his claim to the Danish throne, for Princess Leonor of Asturias. Yes, you heard that right. The heir to Denmark's crown, born to rule, is allegedly ready to renounce his royal future for love. It sounds like something out of a fairy tale. But this is 2025, and this isn't fiction. Multiple insider sources are claiming it's real. The question that everyone is asking, why would he do that? And even more, what would he stand to lose, and gain, if he follows through? To understand this bombshell, we have to go deeper than headlines. We have to look at heritage, duty, ambition, and the kind of love that challenges centuries of royal tradition. From the moment Prince Christian's grandfather, Queen Margrethe II, abdicated, the eyes of Denmark and Europe turned to her son, Frederick, and his son, Christian. Frederick became King Frederick X. Christian, born in 2005, is now Crown Prince Christian. In early 2025, Christian began his military training with the Guard Hussar Regiment. It seemed like a textbook preparation for kingship, duty, discipline, the making of a monarch. But he did something unexpected. During his service, he waived his conscript salary. That move shocked many, and some insiders say it was the first public sign of a deeper shift. Here's where things get complicated. Rumors now suggest Christian isn't just rejecting money, he's rejecting succession entirely. According to some sources, he's ready to forfeit his place in line so he can marry Princess Leonor, heir to the Spanish throne. The idea, to prioritize his love over his crown. Let's unpack why this would be such a radical, deeply personal decision, and what drives him to gamble his future in a way that could reshape two European monarchies. First, the emotional core of this alleged decision is powerful. Imagine Christian, raised in Denmark with all the expectations of royalty, staring at his future and realizing the life he wants may not be the one that's been laid out for him. On one side, a throne, centuries of tradition, a path carved before he was born. On the other, Leonor, a princess whose life is equally steeped in legacy. In recent months, Leonor of Asturias, heir to King Felipe VI of Spain, has taken on more public roles, earning new titles and recognition. She's also under intense pressure, as heir, as a modern royal, as someone expected to lead with vision and responsibility. For Christian, choosing Leonor isn't just choosing a partner, it's choosing a new destiny. It's saying, my future, my identity, my purpose, I will rewrite them for you. But this sacrifice comes with an enormous price. To understand how big this is, we need to consider the legal and dynastic implications. Denmark's Act of Succession governs who can inherit the crown. Under current law, dynasts who marry without permission, or who are disqualified in other ways, can lose their succession rights. If Christian were to formally renounce, it wouldn't just be symbolic, it's potentially binding and permanent. But is Christian really willing to make that move? And if he does, what would happen next? Who would move up? Would the throne pass to his sibling, or shift to another branch of the royal family? There's also the question of public perception. Many Danes admire their young crown prince. In 2025, Christian filled in as regent while his father was abroad. He's taking on constitutional duties, proving himself capable and committed. If he gives this up, would his people support his decision? Or would they feel betrayed? Then there's Leonor's side of the story. Leonor, Princess of Asturias, is only 19 in 2025, but she's already pulling serious weight. She recently received a historic new title as the adopted daughter of Marin, recognizing her military training and her bond with the Galician Naval Academy. She's not just an heir, she's a working royal, deeply involved in service and diplomacy. At the same time, her father, King Felipe VI, has been pushing her into more visible institutional roles. For Christian, being with Leonor may mean not just love, but real partnership, a joint mission to modernize royal images in Spain and Denmark. But could Christian's alleged renunciation destabilize their future? Would losing his place in the Danish line weaken his standing in Spain? Or could it actually make their union more powerful, a kind of cross-monarchic alliance rooted in genuine choice, not dynastic obligation? Emotionally, we can imagine Christian pacing in private rooms of Amalienburg Palace, torn between his duty and his heart. He trained under his father, King Frederick X, who himself ascended after Queen Margrethe's historic abdication. Frederick's own path to the throne was unexpected, his mother stepped down after a long reign. Now, Christian is faced with a different kind of choice, not just about succession, but legacy. In quiet moments, he must ask, what does it mean to be a king? Is it bloodline, power, duty, or is it love? When his military colleagues train, when his heart beats, is he already living his life as a different kind of royal, not as a future king, but as Leonor's partner? And what does Leonor think? Behind the public appearances and diplomatic missions, she's seen by her people as a future queen. But what happens if the man she loves says he won't be by her side in the way everyone expects? Would she feel more alone, or more empowered? There's another layer, the political ripple effects. If Christian gives up his place, it could reshape Denmark's succession line. Parliament, which has a say in royal matters, could need to recalibrate. For Denmark, which values its constitutional monarchy, this could be more than a family drama, it could be a constitutional moment. For Spain, the story would be massive. A Spanish heir marrying someone who has renounced another throne. That's not just a love story, it could become a symbol of how modern royals serve. A message that power can be voluntary, that sacrifice is real, that legacy isn't just inherited, it's chosen. Royal experts and commentators around Europe could see this as a bold statement. Christian and Leonor, together, are redefining what monarchy means in the 21st century. But could such a renunciation backfire? There are risks. Christian might lose his official role, his influence, his identity as heir. The Danish public could view his decision as naive or unbalanced. In Spain, skeptics might question his seriousness. Did he walk away from a throne for publicity? Or for love? And what about his family? His father, King Frederick, how would he respond? Would he support his son's decision? And Queen Mary, Christian's mother, would she see sacrifice, or abdication of duty? Would Leonor herself welcome a husband who isn't a reigning king, but someone who gave up everything? Or would she feel guilt for what he sacrificed? Yet, the more significant question might be, is this confirmed? Right now, the reports are coming from some royal insiders, tabloid-style outlets, and speculative sources. There is no royal palace press release declaring Christian's abdication, at least not publicly. For now, it's a rumor wrapped in emotional tension, political possibility, and romantic idealism. But for people following royal news, that's enough to pay attention. Because in the world of modern monarchy, sometimes the possibility of sacrifice is as powerful as the act itself. Imagine, for a moment, the final scene. Christian walks through a palace garden at twilight, alone. The weight of his future, the legacy of his lineage, the love he carries for Leonor, it's all heavy in his chest. He looks up at the sky, as if asking fate for permission. Then, he sends a private message. A letter. A promise. He says, I choose you. If he really does give up the throne, it won't just be a headline. It could be a turning point in European royal history. It could be a new kind of monarchy, one built not just on tradition, but on choice. And it could make Christian and Leonor's story more than a fairy tale. It could make it real. Deep. Risky. Beautiful. Because sometimes, giving up a crown doesn't mean losing power. It means claiming a different kind of strength, the strength to love, to sacrifice, and to define your legacy on your own terms.